Hi, my name is Lou Weaver. I am the Transgender Programs Coordinator for Equality Texas. I'm sitting here with three men from across the state, three trans-identified men from different areas in our state. We're talking about what it's like to be a transgender man in Texas.
For me, it's like night and day because I'm originally from New York. So being in Texas for like 5 years now, people often say to me, like, why wouldn't you just go back to New York where things aren't so complicated? But for me, doing that takes my existence away. Like you said, they're talking about us, but not about us. So I have to stay present, invisible, so they know that we exist. Because for some strange reason, they think trans men just don't exist. And if we do, we're such small in number, and they just don't really care. Right. So it's just, you know, it's different, but I know that if I keep showing up, then things probably can change. That's what my hope is. Right,
I totally agree with that. Emmett?
I think you have to be aware of the amount of privilege that we inherit when we transition. I think by and large, we often have the choice to not be visible, and the conversation continues about us but not towards us. And in order for any sort of real equality to happen, it's a responsibility that we have, being part of a community, to push forward and expand that conversation and fight for people that sometimes we're only linked together by because we're in the transgender community, and that's it.
Right. I inherently know how much privilege I have as somebody who's perceived male and perceived white. When I first started transitioning, I thought I got male privilege. And thanks to some of my African-American brothers that were kind enough to teach me in a very polite way, like, I have white male privilege. Trent and I were discussing this last night, and we all were, about the difference of transitioning as a perceived white person, or sometimes even perceived brown, which there's still the racial discrimination against black and brown folks are different here in the state of Texas, I think, sometimes. You know, Ethan, do you have anything to say about that? Trent and I would definitely love you to continue that conversation.
Yeah, I think it's important to be visible. Oftentimes these bills are written because people think that trans is one thing. And for me, in the privilege that I hold, with the full support from my family and my friends and company, it's important for me to be visible so that people go, wait, I thought trans was this, and now I know it's this, and we need to rethink everything that we're writing in these bills. And so I think for me, that's where it's important to show up and be visible. And being trans in Texas wasn't a big deal. Right. I moved here 5 years ago, and it wasn't something that crossed my mind to think, oh, being in Texas, there's going to be issues. And 2016 happened, and now we're having to rethink, okay, I'm having to rethink, do I want to live in Texas? You know, I love my job, I love where I'm at, but the environment and the temperature, if you will, it's getting scary to the point where I have to consider, okay, if it gets too bad, where am I going to go? Where am I going to be safe? Those are the conversations I'm having to have right now.
Discrimination is not a Texas value. Embrace dignity and respect for every Texan. Join Equality Texas.